Welcome to Talking Heads on USA Global TV, starring the one and only wonderful Dr. JACALYN. It's a prestigious place where world-class influencers and experts meet, and where you'll find the most trusted advisors and coaches for all things in life and business. Visit usaglobaltv.com to sign up for our newsletter, get the value you need, and be first in line to learn about events and giveaways and other valuable content. Connect with us. Email Dr. JACALYN at usaglobaltv.com to talk about how you can become part of USA Global TV. That's USA Global TV, where the doctor is always in.
Hello and welcome to USA Global TV and Radio. I'm Dr. JACALYN KERBECK, and our show today is the Film and Music Show. And if I can just share with you before we started, we have been laughing out loud, so you better expect to have a really good time on this show. Joining me is my wonderful friend. Her name is Madeleine Carol Chan. She's joining us from London, and she is an international award-winning singer, songwriter, producer, author, and she is a vocal coach, and she is a person who leads her life with her heart. Let us welcome her to the show. Hello, how are you?
Hi, Dr. JACALYN. Hi, everybody else. Wow, how everyone? Hi, viewers. Wow, thank you for that introduction, Dr. JACALYN.
I am still laughing.
Yeah, me too. I just can't. I mean, he's, he just carries this energy completely, and it just life is a laugh. Honestly, he's. Anyway, shall I introduce him? Because
so let me just explain to our audience. We've got a fabulous guest backstage. He does not do a lot of interviews. I think he's anti-interview, but he has accomplished so much, and he has worked with A-list celebrities from all around the world, and he is backstage. We're going to bring him out. Madeleine, I'm going to spotlight you to do the introduction for our guest today.
Okay, thank you, Dr. JACALYN. Well, we all know him. His name is Rocco, and known him for 18 years, and he's amazing. He's an impresario. He's done a lot of shows with big A-list celebs, with Pacino, John Travolta. My goodness, he's done personal private audiences with that. He's done a Beatles at Royal Albert Hall. He's a presenter himself. He's very, very funny. Oh my goodness, this man is very, very funny. You will have a belly of laughs, and he's got a heart of gold. He's my best friend, my soul cosmic brother. He is Mr. Rocco Buonvino, but we call him Rocky.
Woo! Oh my God!
Welcome.
Good evening. Thanks, Maddie, for the introduction. And Dr. JACALYN, I'm still trying to position myself because it's a bit odd. I don't know which way to look because I think my camera's weird. It's all right this way, JACALYN.
It's good. So our audience says this is what we were doing for the 10 minutes before.
Yeah. Sorry, guys, it's a bit weird.
No, you look great. You look great.
Anyway, if I look that way, it's not my fault. It's a camera. If I look that way, I don't know. Anyway, good evening.
It's nice to have you here. So how did you get started in going down this path where you got involved with the world of entertainment and television and production and shows and A-list celebrities?
I've always, from a young age, always started with putting on small events. By trade, I used to be a hairdresser, and many, many years ago, and I kind of liked the idea. I was already organizing small events, and then I started to do more bigger events over the years. So it was always something I've always enjoyed doing, the organizing of putting an event together, and of course you learn a lot from it as you grow as well. So I started off with small events. I think the very, very, very first show I ever did was in Yorkshire, where I used to live, and I was only 18. I did Dave Lee Travers, and I had two people coming. And he didn't like the idea. I think he went home a bit upset because I didn't know how to promote them days. So I just had him. So it was a disaster, the first one, just so you know. It was quite funny. Yes, I started off with small events.
Thank you so much. And thanks for your candor about the first event didn't go so well, because
Yeah.
that's a reality. I actually
It's
sold
all,
meetings and events for me.
it's all entertainment is all about fun, happiness, disasters, experiences. So we learn all the time. We can never get it right, no matter which promoter you are. Things always happen, and more often they happen for the fun side as well. So you look back and you have a laugh. So even today you can put on a show and it can be a disaster.
What were some of the things that you learned from disaster, that when things didn't go well? What did you take away from it?
It's always hard to pinpoint what to learn, I guess. And it's just probably you go along and you just pick up, and it can be anything. It could be an artist issue, it could be a sound issue, it could be a staging issue. They never. It's hard to pinpoint. I'm looking at the camera and I don't know which way to look. I'm going left or right. So forgive me. Dr. JACALYN, where are you, man? Oh, yeah, okay.
I'm right here.
Whoa, what a pause. I feel like Frankenstein here. I'm going to be like a stick. Don't move. Sorry, guys. um, but no, I think it's always, you learn, and it's always fun to learn from it, without a doubt. The biggest mistakes, you know what? I don't know, to be honest. I never look at these things. Now that you're asking me, we just carry on. So I've always enjoyed all types of shows. I've always been doing music events until the first time I brought a talk show with Al Pacino. That was my first talk in conversation interview, and I'm kind of very lucky when that happened as well. So, but it's always mainly music related, what I've been doing. And of course I've been looking after certain artists as well. I've been managing, but I don't like management too much because it's a dedicated job. It's like 24 hours, and you really have to spend your time with that particular artist, and sometimes it's not worth the stress or the hassle, unless you're a big name like Ed Sheeran, for example. There's money to be made, but it's not a good way of making money managing up and coming artists. It's always difficult. And I always say to artists, if you're going to be a singer, make sure you get a job first. Because there's no money in the business, in reality, So so it's always been mainly music I've always liked, and then I do have nice, memorable shows. My best one I've ever liked was probably when I brought Jerry Lee Lewis over. It was his 80th birthday. And that was because I love rock and roll. I'm into that kind of period. So I hate this camera. I don't know where to look. Sorry. I've been mentioning this camera throughout the whole interview. So when I brought Jerry Lee Lewis, that was a great experience, and something probably that for me was my most happiest show, shall I say. And we broke all box office throughout that year from the Palladium, sold out within seconds. When I had the opportunity of bringing Jerry Lee Lewis, great legend. It's one of the last living legends, rock and roll guy. And when I told people I'm bringing Jerry Lee Lewis, no, you can't bring him. He's too old. He's 80. He can't perform anymore, and he's not going to sell. I proved him wrong. Sold out within a day. Tickets just flew out of the window. 2 shows. Yeah, did really well with him, and we had a good lineup to support. And then I also had Albert Lee, guitarist, James Burton, who used to be the guitarist for Elvis Presley. So it was kind of brilliant, the whole put together, just pure rock and roll. And even though Jerry Lee Lewis wasn't a great singer on the night, but it was just being in that audience, just being there, was just like, phenomenal. It was just a great. So for me, that was my most memorable show I ever put together, for me, because I like rock and roll. And also probably when I put on the Beatles Philharmonic show at the Albert Hall. That was also a dream of mine, a big Beatles fan, and we composed this 2-hour show of 80-piece orchestra with the Royal Philharmonic, and it was a 2-hour Beatles classical concert with some guest singers, and we had Shirley Bassey, she came on as well, and that was good as well. So I have good memories as far as the music goes. I also have bad memories, but go on. we won't go into that one.
Can I ask a question?
Congratulations! They sound
Yeah,
like great
absolutely.
events.
Can I ask a question, Rocky? Out of all out of all the shows that you've done,
which way am I looking now? Because I don't know.
No, that's fine. That's okay.
You said don't put your glasses on because you look like Woody Allen.
No. You know what? If you want to put your glasses on, put your glasses on, because I think it's quite endearing. It gives a bit of a comedy value to it.
Dr. Jacqueline is getting embarrassed.
No, honestly, it looks good on you. Put your glasses on. Look, if you can see me better.
Now I feel shy. But why have you two got nice sets and I've got just a blank wall? I'm a bit jealous.
Because we're in the studio.
We're in the studio, exactly. I have a question. I have a question for Madeleine. So Madeleine, you and Rocco have known each other for a long time. You are a performer.
Yeah.
You're an artist. What have you learned from him?
From Rocco. I've learned not to be a drama queen. I've learned about the business. I've learned what
you see, Dr. Jacqueline. Now you put Maddie in a corner.
Yeah.
What she's saying.
Okay, no. Honestly, I've learned how a man who doesn't get starstruck with all the celebrities. He speaks from his heart. He says the truth. He just lays out the truth, no matter who he's talking to. Whether he's talking to someone like a dustbin man or whether he's talking to like a big top A-list celebrity, he stays the same. He remains true to himself. And I love that about him, because I think that some people in this business, they put on a false kind of mask. They, rather than just being themselves. And therefore they get a lot of anxiety. So Rocco has taught me how to just not be starstruck and I just admire his work. Mm-hmm. And his heart is golden, and his big love is Teddy.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Teddy's my dog, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Thanks for clarifying that, Rocco.
He's not a boyfriend, just to make that clear. So you know.
We have a number of. Oh, I'm sorry. I just want to say we have a number of pictures that we want to get to as well, photographs. So I'd love to share them. So let's just start off with this first one. If you can tell us what the backstory is about this. This is an intimate evening with Academy Award-winning Sophia Loren, hosted by Jonathan Ross, Sunday, October 28th, 2018, for our friends on the radio.
Yeah. Yeah, to me, what an honor. I had the opportunity to stage Sophia Loren. It took me a while to ask her and convince her to come to London. Never done it before, to do like an evening in conversation with her. That to me was one of my wonders, to be next to a living legend. I've always been a big fan of Sophia Loren, and what a beautiful lady she is in all manners. She still kept her beauty, even though, I don't know, she's 80 years old, and absolutely amazing. And that was such an honor for me. I've always wanted to do a show with Sophia Loren. So yeah, that was a great honor to do that particular one. So what a lovely lady to work with. Oh my good Lord, is that Schwarzenegger? Now that's a bit dramatic. But what a great guy. And then he's been great to work with as well. So so same with him. He's probably was my third. The first show I did was with Al Pacino, and it kind of snowballed after Al. I did it was Sylvester Stallone, and then Arnie came on board. So I've done a few shows with Arnie. He's another great guy to work with. Yeah, he's a bit dramatic, but go on, it's okay.
Skip this.
Yeah, so I never know what to make of him at times. So it can be nice as 1 minute, but then you have to be careful how you tread with him. Sorry, Sly, I'm not slagging you off. I'm just saying. So.
So, Rocco, Madeline just mentioned that you pretty much always show up as yourself and you treat people the same. You're not going to treat an A-lister differently than you're going to treat someone else. So when you come across someone who's a bit of a challenge, how do you deal with that?
I think I've always been myself, and that's who I am, and that's who I'll always be. Of course, I always respect the artist. When I say bow to them, I respect them. I work as a professional, so I give what I can give back, but not like, oh wow, look who it is. So I've never been like that. The only person in my life that excited me the first time was Paul McCartney, because I've always been a big Paul McCartney fan or a Beatles fan, but then the rest not really. So I kind of treat them all the same. I guess. And what's the answer to that? I don't know. Just go along with the flow, I guess. I guess the nicest experience I've had when I met Prince Charles, that was a bit funny of a challenge, because I got invited to one of his polo matches, and then all his security guards, you couldn't really go near him. He had this little bubble to himself. But I went up to him and I said something to him, and I had his bodyguards overlooking him, and I don't think they were too amused, but I said something to him, and Prince Charles started to laugh. And then everybody started to laugh, because I think it was something to do with his ears. I wasn't quite sure, but we all had a laugh, and it's like, wow, so you can laugh, you know what I mean? So I'm just trying to get to the point where I've always just been myself, no matter what. And I have to be. I don't think it was about the big ears. It might have been, I'm not sure, but we had a laugh. So I got Prince Charles to laugh. So that was good.
That's big. That's huge. Let's take a look at some of the other. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
What was big? The laugh or his ears?
The fact that you got him to laugh, I love that. Yeah. Here's one of my favorite artists. I really appreciate him.
He was a brilliant guy, and again, great to work with, legend, and I'm a big fan of Michael Douglas. So I never get. It's hard for me when I see these and when I work with them. I never get starstruck. That's my problem. But again, just brilliant to work with. And for me, he's one of a great actor. Yeah. So again, another honor with him as well. I guess my favorite guy. I don't know if you got the pictures. Charlie Sheen. I love Charlie Sheen. Do we have a picture of Charlie Sheen?
There you go.
That's the time we went to Annabelle's together. He is probably one of the best guys you can ever meet. I know he's got his own issues, or he had his own issues, but you know what? He's a proper decent guy. You can have a proper laugh with, and he's always been so well mannered. If he has a cigarette, he will never throw the butt on the floor. He puts it in his pocket. Just a fantastic guy to work with. Always have a laugh. A bit crazy, but fantastic.
I love how you're both in purple. I love that. That is fantastic. Not everybody can wear purple.
Dr. JACALYN, that was a natural thing because, and then I didn't know what to wear. And I had this purple suit ready ironed or whatever. So I said, you know what, I'll wear this tonight. I turned up and he's got a purple shirt. I said, we're like the Blues Brothers, but with the purple brothers. we ended up saying colours. And then I nearly asked him, says, if I take your shirt, you can have my white one. I'll take your purple, then I'll be like total purple. He's an amazing guy. It's on him. I had such a laugh at him.
Yeah.
I've worked with him 3 times, but it's just crazy guy, but in a lovable way. So, and you know, he liked his drinking then, but it's calmed down a lot now. So
Yeah, well, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
We're going to take a quick break and hear from a couple of our sponsors. Then we're going to come back with more laughs with Rocco. I can't wait. And with Madeline. So
am I going overboard? Because I'm still
you're great. We love it.
No,
so we having a break.
No,
you're really entertaining.
I can position the camera a bit more. I can investigate.
Madeline can talk to you while we're on the break. All right, we'll be right back, folks.
Okay.
Ours is a world of wonder. Every day it reminds us of its beauty. It touches us, teaches us, and astounds us. But it also warns us that what we throw away does not go away. That higher temperatures mean a lot more than longer summers. That we can no longer take life as we know it for granted. We are at a unique stage in our history. Never before have we had such an awareness of what we are doing to the planet. And never before have we had the power to do something about that.
Welcome back to USA Global TV. I would love to spend a Saturday night with the two of you. Our show today is the Film and Music Show, and I'm here with my co-host and friend, the international award-winning singer-songwriter Madeline Chan, and the creative genius behind A-list celebrities, Rocco, also known as Rocky. Welcome back.
Good evening, welcome back. I'm still trying to position myself.
Put your glasses on, it might help.
He was putting his glasses on.
Was it really?
Teddy.
Hi, Teddy. So nice to see you, Teddy.
Shout out to everybody. Look, Teddy, you're on global television now. The whole world's going to see you. Dr. JACALYN seeing you, and then you know, this is a superstar in the making. I'm sending him to auditions.
Teddy's been on some of our other shows. He's coming in the background, hasn't he, Madeline?
Yes, he has. You see, he's wanting to go on the screen, Teddy. For sure.
So I was going to say, if anyway, carry on.
Yes. So we were talking about Charlie Sheen before the break, and you were saying you've worked with him, I think, about 3 times, and he's a great guy. And we have some other pictures that I'd love to have you share the backstory with our audience. Here's the same one again. Let's bring that up. It's the Men in Purple. You've heard of the Men in Black. We've got the Men in Purple. And how about this one? This is looks like two familiar people.
Oh my God! Do you remember that, Rocky?
What is this one? Hang on, I got to put my Woody Allen glasses on.
Put your Woody Allen on, honestly. This is when we were in Malta shooting.
This is when we were making your video.
Yeah, for love. And remember, you fancied a hot dog. You fancied a hot dog.
Oh my God, that looks so disastrous. Wow. Yeah, I have to put that on.
This is our characters. That's so funny.
This is what I was sent. How can I say?
No one's going to work with me anymore. That's a disastrous picture.
No, don't be silly.
This is a good one.
What an honor with Al. I mean, I've loved working with everyone. Obviously, I'm not doing a lot of talk shows now because I'm moving on to other bigger things, which I can talk to you about in Egypt. Al, what an honor. And he was the first show I did as far as the In Conversation goes, was with Al. And thanks to a dear friend who made the introduction. And I met Al in Ireland. It was at a premiere. It was doing his I forgot the name of the film. He was doing a premiere of a film, and that's where I met him. And we had a chat about doing this In Conversation with Al. It took him a while to decide, well over a year. He was always not ready to come to London. Although he was doing this show in America anyway, called One Night with Pacino or One Night Pacino. So the format came from there, but let's bring it to the UK. It took him a while to do that, but that was my first show with him, and it kind of snowballed from there. Others then came along, and it did me good because I got first time ever one of the biggest Hollywood stars, good for my CV. And it kind of opened the doors. It gave me a break to open the doors with other kind of Hollywood stars because when you say I've just done a show with Al Pacino, then kind of the doors open, and that's what it did. So and it was brilliant. So so and we did that at the London Palladium a long time ago, 10 years ago maybe. But what a great night. I don't get much chance to kind of watch the shows I put on because I'm always backstage. Sometimes I creep to the front and I watch what I can, so I never get the whole feel of the whole thing. So I might just watch 40% and then that's it. So I never get the gist of the really into it like the audience does. So but just being with him and being the first time, and what a great opportunity it gave me as well for the first time. And then that was a good night.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that. I know, Rocco, when you and I spoke on the phone, which was months, I think over the summer, I forget. I think I shared with you that I actually got to go to One Night with Al Pacino in Atlantic City, and I was in the audience. I wish I could say that I actually worked with it, but I was in the audience, and they announced that people could come up and ask questions, and I literally made a beeline, and I was the second person in line with the microphone, and I was so nervous and so excited, and I asked my question, and he said, "Oh, I think the guy right before you just asked the same question." And he was so gracious, and he answered it again. But I always thought that he's someone I'd love to meet.
He's an adorable person, and would you believe he's quite shy person in some way? Well, in many ways, I guess. We go to a restaurant, and he never kind of looks around. He's always putting his head down to the floor, straight to the table. So in a way, he's kind of shy. And yet you see him on films, and you would never think this guy could be potentially a bit shy. But there'll never be another Al Pacino. Such a great method actor, shall I say? And I've always enjoyed his films. I guess my favorite film of Al, if that's a question, Scent of a Woman.
Oh, I love that. The dancing scene.
Great
I
film.
love that.
Yeah, and probably Scarface. He did tell me it took him a few years for Scarface because he kind of the good thing with Al, and I guess with a lot of actors, he really goes into that character, and to be that, was it Colombian drug baron, to go into that character and the accent, he really pulled it off. So that took him a while, I think. I'm not allowed to give gossip because I could be wrong. I could be sued here, but I think, just so you know, I better clear up.
Rocco, question I have. So we've got a number of other photographs, but when you look at Hollywood actors, is the typical progression that they go on tour in the United States and then they go over to the UK? Do they always go to the UK? Do they have to be invited? Like, how does that work?
What do you mean? Sorry, I didn't quite
So
get
in other
what
words,
you said.
so you've worked with a lot of Hollywood A-listers, and you're
Yeah,
in London.
yeah.
So my question is it a natural progression that once a Hollywood star releases a film or they want to go on tour, that they would then go over to the UK? Is the UK always on the tour list?
Okay. I think that's a separate issue when an artist does a film or has to release a film, whether it's from America or that he has to premiere it across Europe or across the world, then they come across. For example, they come across to the UK to be part of the premiere to promote the film. As an independent promoter, we have no involvement with that. If we have to want them for one of our shows or a talk show, we have to book that totally separate. It's a totally separate deal. We never have anything to do with if they're coming over here to premiere or whatever their kind of plans are. So I guess they do come over because they have to promote the films. But we're totally independent. As many promoters, we just book the artists when we need to book them, if they're free or they're available or whatever. Yeah, so there's no ties.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Thank you.
If that makes sense.
It definitely does.
Yeah, but it's because I kind of involved in the music side and then in like TV or film side, and it's always a struggle for. I always my heart break for like a lot of. I've been always involved in music, and recently we had a big TV show on Sky, a 13-week show called. What was the show called, Maddie? All About the Music.
All About the Music, yeah.
And what a great experience I had, 13-week show. And the aim was always to help promote up and coming artists. And we used to help show their videos, and the talent out there is unbelievable. These up and coming artists are sending me videos to go on air. These are like, okay, they don't cost 50 grand, but they're like £50,000 videos. Okay, fraction of the cost, but it just goes to show the talent. And it I feel sorry for them because they spend so much time and effort. They love their art, and yet it's always difficult for them to get anywhere. And a lot of them deserve a chance or a break. And what a difficult business to be in, and it's kind of heartbreaking because you can go on for years to get somewhere if you get anywhere. And I would not like to be an artist, and again, I would like to be an actor as well, because you're on the same boat where you've got this kind of dream to achieve, and the obstacles are so difficult. It's always that 1 in a million chance who has a break, and then okay, we look people like Ed Sheeran. He had his break, but going back with Ed, I know him since he was 16 years old. Before he got signed, or he always worked hard. He was always performing, no matter what. He used to work every time, 2 or 3 times, knocking on pubs, wanting to sing. And he was bound to be picked up because his heart was genuine into his craft, into his music. Of course, he had a lot of luck to go, but it's not an easy game to be in. It's very difficult. It always has been and always will be. The industry's got worse because you don't make money like you used to. Even if you're a big star, you make money touring, I guess, but on record sales, something's got to change there, because there's not much money in it anymore. Even the big names just don't make money. So it's not like years ago. I used to work a lot with Gibb from the Bee Gees, and it was only like 10, 20 years ago. Still made money from singles and albums, etc. But now I think social media's damaged a lot. Social media's good to get your name out there. It helps, it promotes you, but to monetize it, it's still there, but not like it used to be. You can never make millions again. That's a difficult game now, not like it used to be. So I would never like to be an artist. I wouldn't like to be in their shoes because it's so stressful, to pursue a dream, which might take you forevermore. You might be 80 before you get a deal. So who knows?
Good old OAPs.
You might start 18, you probably get a pension before you get a deal. Not easy, and it's painful, and that's why I always say, if you go into the music industry or acting, make sure you have a job. So you get paid, pay the rent. Not easy.
Rocco, tell us about this. This is a nice picture.
John, Mr. Travolta, yeah, he's a wonderful, wonderful guy. So we did a show with John. I only did one show with John, but what a great time I had with him as well. And not too personal, but go on. Lovely guy. He's probably for me, him and Charlie Sheen. What a great character. So and I remember when we booked him, his manager. I'm not going to mention any names because I don't know. Slag people off. She gave me a condition: make sure he doesn't, because this was like an in conversation talk show. Make sure the host doesn't mention about his son that passed away, and also about Scientology. And I said, look, it's up to John, it's up to the host, it's between them both. It says, no, I forbid you. So she was very strict on that, but this was kind of fun now, so she was very strict. Anyway, John went on stage, great guy. I mean, he was dancing on stage. He called the audience to dance with him. That was like a phenomenal night. What a great, he blended, he's a people's person. Anyway, when it got down to the conversations, then I remember I was side of the stage behind the curtain, and then the manager, I could see her, she was on the front row, and then the host asked John about Scientology, and I thought, oh my God, and about his son, and then I was looking at her face, and I kind of went, oh dearie me.
No.
But I'm glad he did, and John was so natural, because in some ways he brought it up, and it was nice, So sometimes, you have these restrictions, and you can't, it's just a talk thing. People want to talk about it. I mean, John brought it up, but I don't think she was too happy. Then one, a lot of stories. But a great night with him. And then we went out for a bite to eat, and then it was great. Give me a cuddle, and he said, you can come and see my cockpit if you like, in his jet. I said, beg your pardon. Go on. He actually flew over with his own, I'm not sure what it got, 747 or Boeing. It's got one of these big things, which he parked in his back garden. If you see pictures of John's house, it's got his back garden is a runway with his big jet, with his big plane. So he flies over with that because he's pilot. But what a great thing for while we have a car in our back garden, he's got an aeroplane. This is like. I'm just popping down for a curry, love. Amazing.
I just watched a movie with him last night, The General's Daughter.
All right.
I haven't seen that.
Is that a new one?
No, it's not new. I saw it on.
He's actually here now in the UK, in Norfolk. He's filming. He's here for a while, and he's meeting a few people, locals, just like popping into a shop or in a pub having a drink, and oh my God, it's John Travolta. He's a proper good human being. Great guy to work with. Yeah. So I never got to see his cockpit, so it's a shame. But go on. It's great.
Here's another one of.
I know. Bless him. I don't know what to say about him.
He looks like he's in good shape.
Yeah.
Who?
Sly. And you too. You look like
you as well, Rob.
You as well, both of you.
No, don't worry about me. I got punched. To see these guys for that age, they really look after themselves. And then when I brought Jane Fonda, no offense to Sophia Loren, she's beautiful. Always was, always is, and always will be. But Jane Fonda, what an amazing. I don't know how old she is, what, 80? But she looks amazing. Her skin is like, her face is like unbelievable. There's no wrinkles. And I meant to ask her, how do you keep so young? So it's amazing with her, really. So yeah, Jane Fonda, wow.
What
Yeah,
what work did you do with her, or you happened to
it
meet
was
her?
exactly the same thing. I did, in conversation, a night with Jane Fonda, same thing. So, and I think we had Graham Norton that night. He hosted Jane. Yeah, she looks great for her age. Like, keeps well. I said, I hope I look like you when I'm your age. Well, I didn't tell her that, but just saying, there are no wrinkles. Like, all her face is like, wow, amazing. So,
It must
yeah,
be
so
her skincare.
I've had some good. What's that? Sorry,
It must be her skincare.
I don't know. So we'll be jealous. So we might need the same method in 10 years' time. Have you got wrinkles, Dr. Jacqueline? Because I can't see them.
Why do you think I get Botox and
You get
injectable?
No,
Oh, no, you can't have
Dr.
both.
Jacqueline,
Botox.
Botox.
It's been 26 years.
Really, you look well to say.
You're a Botox babe.
I got
Botox
friends.
babe.
I got loads of friends, and we've got Botox, and then now you talk to them. Before the lips were like this, and now you're like, it's like the flop, and then it's like weird. So I don't know about Botox, and then it's strange you're saying that, because there was something on Simon Cowell the other day on the news, and he's had loads of Botox, and it's changed the shape of his face. It's like, man, what's happened to you? It's like changed. It's like
I've seen that. People go crazy.
Yeah, it's like a horror movie. So, weird, man. So I don't know, but you look good. And then, so I don't think I'll be having Botox. I'll let the heavens decide. It is what it is. We have to go old gracefully, so it doesn't matter. Even when people say, "How old are you at?" Does it matter? So okay, it's
I'm
only
still here.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Rocky, what is the most funniest? I mean, I know you got that, but I don't know all of it. But the funniest moment in your life. What's the funniest moment while she's doing these shows? What's the really
aside from
really
this moment?
Aside from this moment.
The favorite one? What do you mean?
Yeah.
What's the question? What kind of a question is that? What do you mean?
Well, you're kind of right. It is a bit of a funny question, but I meant, I don't know, just where you're put in a funny situation. It's just so comedy.
Do you know what? I think I'm boring because I don't know. I think they're all
No, but you're nothing but comedy. Honestly,
I don't know what to pick. I don't know, to be honest.
Okay.
Yes, no, you're right. It's a good question, but I don't know, to be honest. And I've always enjoyed myself with them. I think, me personally, as a promoter, I think more of not just with the artists. Obviously, I kind of red carpet them because I have to. It's my job to make sure they're my priorities, number one. But I focus more of my job as a promoter to organize. So my focus is always on that. So then, if you ask me for drama moments, yeah, some of the people I work with, I could kill them. We have a lot of fights behind stage. If we had machines gun, we'd probably shoot each other. But as far as front of stage, nobody sees anything. And neither do I. I don't really can't think of much things apart from I have good memories. And like I said, the Jerry Lee Lewis one was a great night for me because it's something I love. It's rock and roll. Yeah. The best person, I guess, in music I loved was Robin Gibb. Bless him, God rest his soul. That man is a genius. Was a genius, probably still is. Well, God rest in peace again. So I had good times with Robin. I've always enjoyed his company. He always had this special aura about him and his family, Dwayne and RJ, brilliant family. There was always something special about Robin Gibb. I never got much to like Barry. It was always distance, but Robin, he walks into a room and like there's something shining, and it's probably the same with Al Pacino as well. He walks into a room, and not like the other artists. There's something, an aura about Al. He walks in and like there's something special there. I hate this camera because I don't know which way I'm looking. And the same with Robin Gibb as well. Something always, he had this aura about him, and it was an honor working with him. And then what a genius. And he told me once that song he did with Barbara Streisand, was it called Woman in Love? He said he wrote that while he was in a bath on a newspaper or on a paper, toilet paper, I think, maybe. But he was in a bath and he was only 18, he said. What a great song at that age to write, So I have good fond memories of Robin, without doubt, so these artists, they've had their good times, they've made it. Going back to the present day of the business is so difficult, I hope there's a way it changes. So even the up and coming artists and, they come out with some good money and, they survive, and of course we had the pandemic as well. That was such a disaster. A lot of my friends, artists, they had to get jobs in McDonald's because there was no money coming in. And there was no government help really. A few got help, some of the big cats, which they never deserved. And what about the young people, the up and coming ones? They needed chances, and to get some good talent, having to work, and it could be good names as well. I'm not just saying not names, to go and get jobs elsewhere because there was no help. Their money ran dry, their gigs ran dry. So it was a disastrous period for us all, even for me. We couldn't put on any events. Shows we had, they had to be all cancelled. It's getting back to normal, I think. A lot of people, the jumping, to go to events and concerts and whatever it is. So there's some kind of normality. There's always still this little fear, that it might happen again, because people are not taking measures and precautions like they really should do, having to wear masks in certain places. I still believe that should really happen because, it can happen again. There's no guarantee. And if it does, because look, the signs, was it in China? I think, was it China? I'm not sure. Look at what's happening there. People still in lockdown, 25 million. So it's still there, it's still there, and it can happen again. I think when I say happen again, we have more concerns what's happening to the world in this Ukraine. That's a worry. And let's all pray it does end soon, because it can't carry on like this, and it's affecting everything in the world, because I'm not into politics, but it's not good. So let's see what happens.
Yes, Rocco, you shared so much wonderful information. Madeline and I spoke at the beginning of the show that we're going to have you back for part 2.
Yes.
So I hope that you're.
Part 2, especially if Rocky, the part 2 would definitely be for help for Italy, talking about who you're actually working with and managing now. Also, an outreach for anybody who wants to be managed or PR.
No, I don't want to be managed. I don't want to manage anyone.
Not manage, but promote PR.
I love PR. I always like to help. I always like to consult.
Yes.
But never. But if we do come back on air, I have to make sure I get a camera where I got good positions because.
Don't worry, we will.
Madeline, would you please get on top of that?
I certainly will.
All right.
Absolutely.
We have another show coming up in less than 9 minutes, so we have to close out. But Rocco, I'm just going to spotlight you. And what would you like to share with the audience as we close out the show before we have you back for the second part?
Well, thank you so much for having me on. And then any artists out there and you have a dream as a singer, a performer, forget what I said about no money. You might have no money, but pursue your dream because anything can happen. And the same goes with an actor or an actress, because things can change. Pursue your dream. Fight the challenge because you'll always win in the end. We might be pensioners, but we'll win in the end. That's my message.
Well, thank you. All right. And Madeline, how would you like people to reach out to you?
There is madeline-chan.com, my website, and also cotv-edu.com, which is my teaching site, and madelinecarolchan@gmail.com. Please email me. And if you want to come on to the show, please email me as well, me and Dr. Jacqueline.
May I just find the ad?
Sure.
Dr. Jacqueline, I'm here. I'm in a corner somewhere. Hang on, let me find that. I must say, Maddie is a great singing teacher, and I highly recommend people to be taught by her because she does special kind of voice, colours of the voice singing, and anybody can sing. Even you, Jacqueline, you can sing. If Maddie's
she's my voice coach, so I am taking lessons with her. She's outstanding.
Yeah, so soon I think we need to interview you. When you're a superstar, and then, could be, in a few years' time, no rush, take your time when you're ready.
Well, Madeline and I are actually going to write a book together, which after my second book gets, we've got the live book launch coming up, and that's May the 4th. And then Madeline and I are writing a book, and we're also going to write a song together. Yes?
Right.
We certainly are. Yeah.
Guys, we'll see you again.
All right, we'll see you again. Thank you so much, Rocco. Bye.
Yay.
Thanks, Madeline. We'll see you again soon.
Absolutely. Part 2. Remember, everyone, Rocco Part 2. Tune in.
And Madeline, before you go, I just want to spotlight. This is our new book. This is coming out May the 4th. This is not the official cover. There's still some changes that are in the mix.
It's a nice cover. This is the one that you went with.
There's a couple things I want to change. But this book has 12 chapters, and each chapter is written by a different author. So I interviewed each author, and then we transcribed their the interview into words, and my book coach and I and our editors work to put it in third person, and my chapter is in here as well. So please join us for our first ever live book launch on USA Global TV. It will be on May the 4th at 3 p.m. Eastern time, which is 8 p.m. British Summer Time, which is 9 p.m. Central European Time. All right. And that's all that we have for today. We're coming right back with the wise ones. And after that, talking heads. Okay. Madeline and I are saying goodbye for now. Bye, Rocco.
Bye, everyone.
Bye,
Teddy. Bye, Teddy. Much love, Dr. Jacqueline. Much love, viewers.
To you too. Bye. Okay.